I'm live.
Okay, honey. There you are.
Try to do this with my glasses on tonight, see if I can't read the chat better. Wait for some people to get on. Hey James, how are you? I'm gonna try to read the menu down here with my glasses on. It's kind of weird, the reflection. Got some background lighting here. Uh, Pretty much gonna talk about, guys. I'm trying to get a Baylor tour lined up to travel. I got to get it out of the way early before the year gets into full swing. So, big thing, guys, you got to get a hold of Rachel, get your deposits in, get your location, your addresses. We got to know so we can start making a route. Remember, the more people you get on the route, the cheaper it makes it for everybody. So, remember, I'm driving a large RV. It's not fuel efficient. I think 4 or 5 miles to the gallon is about the best I'm going to get. So, but it does carry all my tools. It carries some parts, not everything I need, obviously. And it saves you guys from paying for my hotel rooms. So that is anymore. That's like 100 to 150 bucks a night savings using the RV, and also allows me to have my tools with me. So, uh, anybody got any questions about the Baylor tour coming up? Looks like we'll be starting south through Pennsylvania, um, Maryland, West Virginia, Virginia, probably North Carolina. I haven't got anything for South Carolina yet. Doesn't mean it can't be opened up, but it was like Kings Mountain, North Carolina will probably be one of the routine stops. Then back up to Knoxville, Tennessee, Maryville, Tennessee, and then probably head west or head straight north up into Ohio. If I get enough calls, guys, I could change the route to going west first, going through Jamestown, Erie, PA, Columbus, Ohio, going straight across that way, all the way out to Illinois, heading up into Iowa. I hit some Wisconsins. I had quite a few people at Wisconsin that wanted me to come out that way. Anybody up in the upper half of Michigan, understand something. That is a long drive to go all the way up Michigan. Um, Everybody complained about the deposits. You have to understand that is a long drive to get to the top side of Michigan. So if anybody in Michigan, if you get enough people in the area, that'll offset the fuel cost a lot. But I had only just two people, and they were looking at like $600 a piece just the fuel to get me up there. And yeah, I understand, guys, but understand I've got a vehicle that only gets 5 miles to the gallon, so it's not like I'm profiting off the deposits. It's just covering the fuel to get me there. So, and then I also got fuel to get back home as well. But does anybody have any questions? I'm also answering some Baylor questions tonight. RNS Ag Services. I have Rachel put up the phone number 607-846-5959. She's got the website up for the parts. Still working on it. Give us time with that, guys. Um, but big news coming. I got some self-propelled balers coming in. They should be here by the end of the week. I think they're 1282s. Self-propelled. Going to rebuild them both, restore them back up. Know about painting them, but I'm going to get them fully functional by then. Also still working on the 77 baler that's up towards Candor, New York. I'm waiting on parts for that. I thought they'd already be in, but they're not. And we're also going to be doing the restoring the Super 77 prototype that the yellow baler. I've got a motor to put on that. That should be getting a video uploaded soon of that as soon as I get the motor changed over. Weather's not been too great. Been playing in mud. Finally froze a couple nights. The mud and ground settling down. I might be able to start getting out and moving around a little bit. But well, has anybody got any questions? Sound off what state you're in. Just curious. I usually have Ross Claypool's on. James is on. Icon usually comes on. Aaron, Andrew over in Australia usually gets on. I just want to see what country you're from. And if you got any questions, I mean, I think the translator on this does work. that translates over to English. If not, I will try to diagnose it later and figure out what you asked and try to respond to your questions. But does anybody have any questions for me? Rebuilding a chamber. What kind of baler? Hey, Andrew, how are you? It depends on the bale chamber. Remember, guys, it's just grade steel. You should go to any steel shop or get some rolled out. New Holland 315. Probably the center rail's gone and the sides of the bale chamber. So I've had an Amish shop take a piece of flat steel and cake the corners up and slide that sleeve all the way in and butted it up to where on the plunger side where the stationary knife was, butt it almost up to the back of that, and then tack welded in all the way down the bale chamber. And I slid another sleeve up the other side. It was like I just made it just small enough that it fit right inside the original, the C shape of the bale chamber. So I welded in brand new iron on both sides. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, I mean, it'd be better if you have somebody break it, like bend it up, so it's like because that's what gives it the strength, and ain't just the flat piece. It's that break on the top, so you got a perfect C, for that hay to slide through, and you're bending that upper and lower corner, and just get it when you measure it, bend it so it's nice and tight in there. So you just drive it in, and you just tack weld it in, and that will bring your bale chamber. You probably got a kicker on it more than likely. But a 315 baler, a lot of those I can get here, ones with nice bale chambers in them. Say they're a wire tie baler, I can usually buy those for $700-800, and they got an excellent bale chamber. I know steel's not cheap, but I don't know what your baler's missing or lacking. But it would be a wire tie, which you could change it over to twine. Almost all balers are made to have wire or twine on them. You could change them over. It's pretty simple. Yeah, Rocket. I mean, what state you from, Rocket? Because like I said, I do have people that call me in selling balers. If I know what state you're in, I could let you know, or you could send a text to 607-846-5959. Text me your name and phone number and everything. And when I have somebody call in with a baler they're trying to part out, I can hook you up with them, and you can probably get a baler you don't even have to work on. Like maybe change parts over or something. Aaron is pretty good. I went and saw a Claws 375 baler, actually. I had to diagnose some problems with it, and I looked at some few others, but nothing out of the ordinary, just some 14Ts. Nothing I'm probably going to buy. A little higher price than I want to put into them. Colorado. Cool. Well, Dan, Aaron is out in Colorado too. I don't know if Aaron knows where there's a 315 baler. If you want to upgrade that 315 a little bit, look for 311 or 316. Great balers, really great balers. Little bit heavier duty bale chamber on those models too. Or if you want to go real big, go to a 326. Well, Aaron, you're closer to Colorado than I am, sir. But yeah, anyways, Rocket, just text me your name and address and everything, and I'll look through my text messages on the baler phone and see what there is. Aaron can look for you too because he's in Utah. He runs across deals once in a while. If you're on Facebook, Dan, make sure you join the Hay Baler Nation or Hay Baler repair and discussion groups. We'll get you in there. Just put up your questions. Say, hey, I'm looking for this baler. There's a lot of good baler guys on those pages. They know where stuff is. There's a big salvage yard in Kansas, which I know that's a ways away from you. But gives you an options, though. Anybody else got any other questions about balers? But remember, guys, all the rails in your bale chambers, if New Holland says they don't make it anymore, remember, it's just grade steel. It's just cold rolled steel. You take it, you have somebody drill and counterseat the holes. And, you can make your own rail kits for the plungers. I don't like it when everybody says, well, they don't make that part no more. Well, the older balers are nice because they're all graded steel. Even the new ones are grade steel. They make it so it wears out, so you have to buy more parts. So, I mean, as long as you have a good machine shop around you, you can pretty much make anything for the balers. I don't know if I'd recommend having somebody make a ring and pinion for one, but that's the last thing that usually goes bad with a baler unless you run it without oil. But the biggest thing, guys, is they're trying to get people to understand we're doing a baler tour, repair tour. Okay, I'm going to start New York, PA, whether I head to Ohio first or I head down to Maryland, down to West Virginia, to North Carolina. Excuse me. I'm having a halls. Depends on who's the concentration of the most balers are and who pays the deposits determines which way I go, guys. Get a hold of Rachel, 607-846-5959. She will get your address, send it in a text. She'll get you on a route map, and then they'll send you roughly what the deposit will be, and then you go from there. So most deposits, if you get 5 or 6 people in an area, usually be $200 to $300 a person. Instead of like some people, like one guy's way out in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be $600-700 because fuel in the RV is not cheap, guys. And if we're back in 2019 prices, that would only been probably maybe $300 to go out and back, instead of $600. But yeah, Rachel put up the phone number. That's a cell phone, guys. Our business line is a cell phone. Send pictures, videos, any kind of problems you got on there. I don't always get back to everybody, but I try to. So within a day or so, I will get back. The phone number's in the comments now. 607-846-5959. Trying to think. Rachel accidentally put a 5 in front of that. That is not a 5. It's supposed to be a 6. 607, guys. 846-5959. You can text that number. Anybody else got any other baler questions? It's nice seeing some regulars on. Dan, I think you're the first time I've seen you on here. Or maybe you've been on here before. But I'm live. I'm answering questions. Anybody got any questions about baler stuff? Yeah, Rachel just fixed it. So, and Rachel, could you put up the website, please, on there? If anybody wants to look up parts for your balers, remember, we just bought property. We got to start building shelves and stuff. When you guys order parts, we get a big order together to get free shipping to us, and it's only going to cost you shipping to you. But if you're in a rush, it's going to cost you shipping to us, then to send to you, because our supplier does not drop ship, unfortunately. But it only takes us a day to a day and a half to get the parts in. Cool. But yeah, Dan, I would just say go to a machine shop and have them break a piece of steel if you want to fix your baler. But like I said, 315s, when they're wire tied, they don't bring anything at auctions. I mean, and the wire tie balers don't have the wear on them like twine tie. And they mostly all they baled with straw, so the bale chambers are really great shape. So you can literally just buy one for under $1,000, and you got something with a really good bale chamber. And you just put your knotters and your twine box over on that. Cool. Rachel just put up the link to the website for the baler parts page for R&S Ag Service. But I had a few people last time. I went through and rewatched the video, and there's some comments that popped up after I went offline. Yeah, I am still working on balers at home here, trying to back down a little bit. I'm trying to just do more wrenching and stuff like that. I don't want to stay. Probably not going to be in sales much, guys, because I want to concentrate on getting stuff fixed. I want to spend more time at the family farm. And so if you're calling for baler stuff, I still have somebody you can get in contact with that'll hook you up. The rental balers this year, that's going to be handled as well. I'm just going to probably just set them up, get them ready to go. But if you have any questions on the rental baler fleet, like I said, just call the baler phone and we'll set you up with the right person for that. It's 607-846-5959. Do you have any other questions, Dan, about your 315? Aaron, I rent Claus balers, and it's not through me, it's through Barber Farms. They rent out Claus round balers, the 250s, 350s, uni wraps, stuff like that. We technically local in the area, so It's cheaper to rent one than it is to own one, obviously. So it probably is, Dan, because like I said, I had a guy in, I want to say it was Idaho, and it was on the bottom side of Idaho, and he had a 315. It was a wire tie, and he wanted $500 for it. If I could find him, that was from last spring. If he still got it, that baler looked immaculate. Like he kept it in a lean-to. The paint wasn't even wore off the pickup head. It was just a really nice looking baler. If I could find his name and number, I'll contact him, see if he still got it. And if so, he was on the very tip of Idaho, on the very bottom southern tip of it. So yeah, the market's changed a lot. Aaron, also your question. I do rent out square balers. When I rent a square baler out, guys, if I put my twine in it and you're just borrowing it to bale with, I don't have kicker balers because it's a liability. I have drop balers. I have balers with chutes on them. I usually just get 50 cents a bale. That's if you put your twine in it. If you run my twine, it's $1 a bale. So, and everybody's like, how do you keep track? Well, it's the honor system. If you're going to beat me up on a few bales of hay, fine. You got to live with that. I don't. So, I just take people's word for how many bales they bale. So, but I do rent out my balers. So, yeah, John Deere. I do loan out my 77 balers because they make an awesome bale, no matter what windrow they're in. Thin, thick hay. People like the bricks they make. So, and they're heavy baler, but they're a simple baler. They just make hay. But as far as rental balers, I do like my John Deere. So I like the 14s, 24s. We have a 346. I had a couple inlines, but my problem with inlines is, guys, is when they plug, they are a nightmare to unplug. So, make a nice bale, but man, they're not, when you plug them up, they are just not fun to unplug. New Holland, John Deere, and like I said, I'd like to say I rent out an Oliver, but I don't have very many Olivers anymore. I do have some update stuff for that, Dan. For the 315, there's a longer aluminum tines in the front. And they actually have a curve in them to help carry that hay all the way across. That's the thing. When you buy a 316, they change the length of where the sprocket is, where it takes that sweep feed in. It actually runs it over farther and does a better job building the bale. It's just that they redesigned the 316, the 311, 316, 326, and they make a good bale even in light hay. That was the kind of the problem with the 315 was if you're in a good windrow, they make a nice bale. But if you get in like thin and thick windrows, you get that kind of it's like the bale's not full on one side or the other, and it's just the bale placement. You got to change it so many times if you get in different windrows, And the 316 and 311, they almost eliminated that because New Holland finally figured out what was wrong, fixed it, and implemented it on the 316, 311, 326. Which, by the way, guys, is still my favorite balers. 316, 311, 326. Absolutely favorite New Holland balers. I don't have nothing against the 68 Hayliner, 69s. They're really good balers, the 78. But as far as nice square bales, the balers you can't beat is the Super 77, 77s. They're just awesome balers all the way around. So you think about it, they were made back in, the 77 was made back in 48, 49. And I got some of those are still baling hay today for Amish. So, what about plunger clearance for the front bearings? I guess I don't understand that question, Dan. The bearings on the track or the bearings on the pitman arm? Oh, hi, Polly. My son's watching, so. You have to go in a little more detail. If you want to, Dan, call the baler phone or send me a text of the picture of what you're talking about for the bearings. I might be able to better answer that question. Send a text message picture or just text to that 607-846-5959. Yeah, Dan, the 315, no joke, is a good baler. But they want that they want a full windrow. They just want that consistent windrow. Yeah, guys that own 315s have a tractor. They run it at 1 RPM, 1 gear, and they keep it full all the time. They use a double rotary rake, make a nice fluffy windrow for it, and it works really, really, really well. They don't seem to have any trouble with it at all. My extra lighting went dead, so that's kind of nice. I love to pick up an Oliver baler with a thrower. James, there's a few down in lower Pennsylvania, James. When you guys get on Facebook, change your settings. If you're an Oliver guy, there's a lot of Oliver balers in southern Pennsylvania, kind of Maryland a little bit, and getting over into southern Ohio. And then another big location for Oliver balers is Missouri, bottom part of Illinois, going into kind of like Kentucky and Tennessee. So remember, there's a circle on YouTube, or on Facebook Marketplace. You can take your finger and move it around. Do your search for Hay Baler, old Hay Baler. Move that area around, and you'll find those gems, the ones that are in the shed that the old lady doesn't want much anymore. So, but Dan, if you could find yourself a 311, you'll be really happy. It's a little lighter baler. If you're pulling kicker wagons, probably not ideal for that. 316 would be your love and home, buddy. It's just bread and butter. The 316 is my favorite. Just a really good baler, especially if you get the hydraulic thrower on it. What a great combo. I mean, I like the 326, don't get me wrong. But for the all-around favorite baler, if you need a kicker, this is the 316. And I really like a 316 if it's got the old 75 pan thrower on it, like the John Deere's. Got so many guys, New Holland guys, that run the John Deere style thrower on the New Hollands. They can literally almost stack their wagon. They're that good with their control. It's really nice. I'm looking forward to it, Dan. No, I don't say that. Just text the phone. I should be around it, guys. The best time to catch me is early in the morning, around lunchtime, or late evening, because we try to wrap things up for the day. Try not to text after 8:30 at night. I appreciate that, just for the fact we're trying to get the kids to bed. But if you guys break down, like I said, I have my Australian friends. They always hit me up middle of the night. Andrew, I don't know if you're still on or not. In the field. Yeah, you would definitely benefit from a nice 316. Another thing that works too, Dan, is I've been just experimenting with it. We've been putting the John Deere hay restrictor plates in the bale chamber all the way down through on the New Hollands. It's really squared the bales up a lot as well. I have not tried it on the 315 yet. I've done it on the 275, the 273, and we did it with a couple 316s. The guys were baling like third cutting alfalfa, and they're getting kind of that crooked bale. And we bolted in a couple of those restrictor plates, hay restrictors out of a John Deere baler, drilled the holes, bolted it in. So it just made a huge difference. So John Deere sells, and it's online, guys. I have them. They're on eBay and stuff. They're called hay restrictor plates. They look like cheese graters. Start right behind the plunger knife, bolt them in, and New Holland has hay wedges. They're more of a resistant block. They really don't square the bale up, and they don't stop the spring back like the hay restrictors will. Or if you buy a set of bale skis, if you guys looking to do that, Patch Hendricks, he's in any of my groups. We could put his number up or have him do a video sometime. Aaron put up a thing there. Bad rep regarding the pickup. The 320 really don't. The 320's got a habit of exploding as far as the feed system. So doesn't the 310. New Holland just got way carried away. If you run those balers at like half PTO or a little less, they'll last a long time without exploding. But the bad pickup heads are the 565s and the newer balers. The cam tracks are thinner. They wear through quicker. I've had a couple 275s that had some cam track issues, but it's a lot of it, guys, is guys run their pickup teeth so they're like hitting the ground all the time. You don't want to do that. Get that meter wheel on the side adjusted, or put a bolt in that sleeve adjustment on the side and hold that pickup head up in the ground, up in the air a little bit so it's not hitting the ground. you guys you'll save a lot of wear and tear on your cam where the roller rides in the cam track if you don't force that head into the ground. Yeah, like I said, I'm just reading some of your questions, guys. I got to bend down and read it. Like I said, my glasses allow me to read a little bit. Well, they're not John Deere wedges, Dan. It's called a John Deere hay restrictor. If you go to jdparts.com, look it up. It's look up the 24T and look up in the bale chamber. They look like cheese graters, both of them. Or 336, 346. They're going to be the same part number. Just take them in there, put them in. I line them in the bale chamber, and I take spray paint and I just spray the paint the holes, see where they are, and I drill through the bale chamber, bolt them in. Couple 4-carriage bolts are bolted in, and they're steel. They're not made of plastic, nothing cheap, and they wear for a long time. Probably 40,000, 50,000 bales before they start wearing out. But they do a phenomenal job, like squaring that bale up in that chamber a lot. Anybody else got any other questions? I feel like Dan and I are like having a personal conversation here. Andrew, usually he speaks up, but it must be the cat's got his tongue tonight for some reason. Forgive me for a second. I grab my tissue. That's better. My nose is running. I had a little bit of a cold about a week ago, and it's still lingering on. Anybody else got any questions? If that's it. Biggest thing is, guys, the video was about getting deposits down for doing our baler tour. Please get hold of Rachel. Get your address down. Andrew, you're driving. Well, bad boy, you shouldn't be watching me. So yeah. I hope you're driving on the right side of the road, not the wrong side of the road. But anyways, guys, if you got any questions, like I said, mainly thing is we're doing the baler tour. The hay season, yeah. No, I hope not. A lot of people do rebaling, guys. A lot of people are rebaling round bales or big square bales back into small square bales. So, just remember, get a hold of Rachel. Get your address down if you guys want me to make a tour. If not, if we don't get anybody to come in, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings, guys. We're still doing the internet thing, okay? It's been working good. It's $100 for the first hour, $85 for each additional hour. We have high-speed internet now right here. And I am on this video like right now, and I talk you through on how to work on your own baler. We have links. We have chat rooms. Yeah, you're welcome, Dan. Anytime you guys got questions, you got friends with problems, I'm going to try to do more live videos. Just pay attention. I wish I could get on more of a schedule, but repair schedules are messing up things. But remember, like, share, and subscribe, guys. The more people you get, the bigger this gets. I'm going to start doing a lot more favors for you guys. I'm going to do personal videos on each baler, a breakdown of what I've experienced. I'm not going to say that somebody hasn't fixed something differently and done a better job, because there are people out there that they figured out a better way to fix something. I'm just going to show you what I've learned from my experience, and it doesn't make it right, just the way I've learned to do it. So that's all there is. If nobody's got any other questions, you guys all have a great night. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm going to pray for you all, and hope you have a wonderful night.